So, the message for today is not one that came through meditation or a dream, but just from simply me existing peacefully in my living room, doing the mundane things that one would do. Happy September 1st. It is Monday, September 1st. And I got the really strong inclination to sit down with the cards because there was a message coming through. I don't know what message is going to come through, so you'll be just as surprised as I am, collective. But one thing I do want to note is that as soon as I sat down and I said, I'm going to do a reading for the collective, my heart started racing and I got almost like winded, out of breath. So this might be a message for those in the collective that have been feeling extreme highs emotionally. And that can be in whatever way it resonates for you. Take it how it resonates with you. It could be love, it could be anxiety, it could be anger, it could be confusion or uncertainty. But there is high emotional peaks right now on September 1st. And this could be simply because the fact that we're winding up to have that full moon, that culmination, that completion energy. But let's get right into it. If this is your first time with me, my name is Angel. This is Rabbit and Moon Tarot. I'm an intuitive reader. And so, yes, I know tarot, but I often get messages through feelings, through my ancestors, through my guides, intuitively. And that's how I read my cards. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start with like a self-built deck. This deck is made of 2 or 3 different decks that I handpicked from an intuitive standpoint, made a deck. And this is what I would call an origin deck, which lays out the themes that we're going to be delving into today. So we're going to get maybe 3 or 4 cards. So collective, what big themes are happening in your... Oh, here we have one right here. It wants to fall down. I will put it right here. What big themes are in your life currently? What is... Wow, it's kind of taking my breath away. What feelings are leading to these really high emotions? Well, one of them is volatility. This is action-based. This is what, for me, it's not just volatility as in destructive. This is volatility as in a burst of action, a sudden incentive. This is divine masculine energy. So, you could, as a collective, doesn't matter your gender, because everybody has divine feminine and divine masculine. Everybody can be intuitive and take action. That is the most basic way to encompass both energies. But let's keep going. Wow, this is really making me breathless. My chest is really tight. My heart is racing. And this doesn't feel like me. This feels like someone in the collective is feeling that right now. I'm recording this at... Oh my gosh. I can't even believe that I'm recording this at 2:22 on September 1st. So if you have been seeing repeating numbers, specifically 222 or 2222 or 1111, which is 2222, or which is 22, pardon me, sorry. This might be your reading, so let's continue forward. What else is happening in the collective energy? Then we have tsunami, a wake-up call. Ooh, so there is the energy of that explosive action. Volatility, yes, could be in destruction, but in the way where you have to... Maybe destruction isn't the right word. It's demolition, like on a construction site. I'm getting very specifically. I'm seeing someone wielding like a sledgehammer that's breaking down old walls in a kitchen so that they can remodel it. They have to demo the old stuff so they can rebuild something new. And the reason why I'm seeing kitchen particularly, it's where a person, a couple, or a family might create things, make things together, make things that nourish their life. So I'm seeing very specifically. And you may actually be in renovation in your house, your apartment, your condo, maybe at your workplace. But the tsunami, this energy is water energy. So we have fire and we have water. So divine masculine. And then we have divine feminine, which is water. And then there's a moon in the background. This is a wake-up call. This is tower energy. But not just tower energy. The tsunami is water. So this is like a recognition of what emotional hangups you might have. Maybe some old emotional patterns. Maybe you stonewall. Maybe you keep everything inside. Or maybe you, and I'm sorry to say it, maybe you overshare. Man, it's gripping my heart right now. Ooh, okay, let's keep going. What other energy do we have? We have the raven. Oh, the ravens and crows, birds are messengers. There is something trying to come through. There is a message either that's trying to be relayed to you, collective, that's been, I'm hearing Edgar Allan. I'm hearing and seeing the story of Edgar Allan Poe with the raven tapping on his window pane, tapping, like almost like in that story, the person, Edgar Allan's character, is wanting to not answer or pay attention to the crow, but that messenger is coming forward for a reason. It may seem ominous, it may seem difficult, but in this situation, I feel like it's a message that you need to pay attention to. So with this card, we have the raven. It says magic, coincidence, synchronistic events. Again, 22, 22, 11, 11. I started this message at 22, 22, or rather I looked at my phone at 22, 22. Sorry, getting really mixed up. Also, that might be an indicator of thing. You might be feeling like a little bit of mental fog, feeling a little scattered. I'm gonna put these cards down over here. A little scattered. But let's take a peek at what this first card was. This first card was, I said mental fog, right? So we have mental fog here, veiled, something that you can't see, something that is unknown, something that is unclear, but like this picture, there is light breaking through that fog. It's burning away the fog. It's going to take some sort of purposeful, knowing, conscious action on your part, collective, in order to move towards that new renovated quote unquote kitchen that I'm seeing. This is demoing something that's old, that's dilapidated, that is uncomfortable, because there is something in your path, like a big blinking sign that's like, you need to wake up. You need to bring yourself out of these dark waters. Don't let the more difficult, gritty emotions bog you down. Recognize what they are. Ask yourself why you feel them. Ask yourself, where do they stem from? Ask yourself, how can I heal them? Because there's a message that's coming in for you that the Spirit wants you to see, but it's going to be hard for you to clearly see it because there's mental fog until you wake up, until you take the action, encapsulate that divine masculine energy. Again, does not matter how you identify, what your gender is, because everybody has masculine and feminine. It literally is just the ambition to take action. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some more oracles, one for each of these cards. I'm going to be using the Animal Spirit Guidebook, and I'm going to be going intuitively as well as reading from the book, because that's what I'm being guided to do today. So for this fog, this mental fog that I didn't realize was going to come up, but it definitely confirmed what I just said, that you all may be kind of in a mental fog, feeling like your thoughts are kind of racing. Maybe that's the reason why I'm feeling out of breath in my heart space, and I'm finding it hard to kind of communicate clearly or efficiently what's going on, but it does feel tumultuous. But this tumultuous time isn't one just purely born of chaos. It is right before you wake up. It's something that is needed. It's some sort of catalyst to get you to wake up. And I keep seeing this raven tapping at the window and fluttering against the window pane like it's trying to get in. And you're a character sitting in a tall back chair facing a fireplace, and the window's behind you, and you refuse to turn around. But that crow is and fluttering against the window, trying to bring in this message that you can't see yet, but you know is there. You can feel it. So let's get some. Oh my goodness, this is like really, hold on. Let me just take a second to try to ground this energy, because it's really kind of, it feels anxious. It feels a little anxious, and a little bit of almost like you are having some sort of elevated emotion. It could be anxiety, but whatever the anxious emotion, that you've been there for a minute and it's creating anxiety because you don't know how to relieve the pressure. Does that make sense? Okay, So let's see. What's keeping things? Okay. So we have Deer. This is earth energy. This is soft energy. And when, oh my gosh, my hand is trembling. I don't know if you saw that, but my hand is trembling. Like, that is how this energy is coursing through me right now. I feel fine, but my body is responding to this energy that I'm coming through, or I'm encountering. This Deer energy is very soft, is very mothering. But, oh my gosh, because I said mothering, it makes me feel that collective, whoever you're connected to, whether it be someone outside of yourself or you connecting to an inner version of yourself or your inner child, you may have a little bit of an askewed view of what a mother is, or what a good mom is, or what constitutes a good feminine energy parent. This leads me to believe that there is some sort of difficulty in the past, including a mother figure, a grandmother figure, someone who identifies as a female guardian, or someone who encapsulates that feminine energy guardian. That fog makes me feel like it's giving you kind of a skewed view. So let me go ahead and read you what the book says about the Deer before I go head on anymore with what I'm saying. I want to give you what the book actually says. Okay, so for the Deer card, what the book is trying to tell us is that it is an intuitive, graceful mother. Now, this is what the book says. The Deer represents the feminine aspects of earth energy. This energy is available to all creatures regardless of gender, but it is especially potent in parents. During the first few days, they are fully present, nurturing, and calm. Their inner beauty radiates, and a sense of grace calms the room. A Deer personality affects others in this way, drawing them toward a quiet tenderness. The Deer card may appear when a birth or a celebration of a new life draws near, or when a situation calls for absolute gentleness and compassion. However, we have this as the clarification to fog. So again, when I'm feeling like there's some sort of imbalance, it seems like there is, how do I want to say this? Either understanding what nurturing compassion is and accepting it, because you may not have been showed it through your parents or guardian as a child. Doesn't matter which parent or guardian. This is the energy of the nurturing aspect of parenthood, and then a fog over that. Maybe you grew up thinking, oh, this is just how everybody's parent is, and then you experience the world and you experience other children with their parents and realize that their parents were softer, gentler, kinder, more patient, more present, more encouraging, more validating of your self-worth as a child. So there's some sort of askewedness in this energy. So let's keep going. For the volcano and the volatility, this is what I believe the collective is wanting to take action, is wanting to not just take action. I mean, this feels like decisive action because of whatever tower moment has happened that brought extreme amount of clarity. So what do we have? So we have Earthworm. Intuitively, I'm feeling with the Earthworm, we got 2 Earth cards already. And we have 2 cards. Now, this is my intuitive read of it. The fog is in the sky, right? And the volcano, that volatility comes from the earth to the sky. So there's something about coming from air energy, or coming from a place of logic or disconnected emotion, kind of basing your life around intellect and logic, and kind of trying to logic away why you don't necessarily see your parent as, I don't want to say not compassionate, but as you grew up, you recognized that other parents were more patient, more kind, more gentle with other children, and maybe you tried to logic it away, like, well, maybe I just was really like a hard kid to handle, or maybe I was just too rowdy or too naughty, or I'm hearing, and I really don't like saying this, too stupid, that my parents had to give me a firm hand. And that, again, is an skewed version of what this nurturing card is. This volatility energy that's coming through makes me feel like the action that you're trying to take right now is about taking action about how to change it. The earthworm, intuitively for me, when I look at that card, is about, we need earthworms in a garden because it aerates the soil. It moves through the soil, it keeps the soil loose. It's needed in order for things to grow. So in a way, the earthworm kind of reminds me of rock with me here. It kind of reminds me of the beginning of the Ouroboros. You see how there's like a circle happening here? It is the beginning and the end. It's being the beginning part of the Ouroboros, the very earth grounded in this 3D world, and the Ouroboros represents a huge scale of this, the beginning and the end from a spiritual standpoint. So the earthworm is almost like you want to, I'm just hearing it this way, you want to start over, you want to regrow your garden, you want to regrow your garden in the right way. You want to plant things, nurture things the way they need to be nurtured, and it all starts at the beginning again. So let's look into the book and see what the book wants to tell you, because I'm telling you intuitively for those that it resonates with my message, but sometimes you might resonate with the book. That's why I'm doing it. So let's look at the earthworm. For the earthworm, it says shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. Interesting. We all have felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or a novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember that they once felt earthworm energy too. Interesting that they're talking about this being shy and like newbie or novice energy, where for me, I look at this and I'm like, this is the early stages. This is the baby version of the Ouroboros that has to grow and kind of become. This is the earthbound version of the Ouroboros, the very, very beginning, the neonatal stage. And then the Ouroboros is like the big scale, grand scale, the huge scale in a spiritual sense. So I can see some similarities there. But it's important to remember that they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. So this does kind of feel like it plays into wanting to start over again, wanting to regrow your garden. That energy about the novice or the quote newbie is, I mean, if it resonates with you, wonderful. How I'm seeing it is that you want to, again, take some very determined action about replanting your garden. Like you're looking at your garden and you're like, okay, this is my garden. It's got some weeds. It's got some, stones in the ground that are blocking the way. But if I could just move the dirt around, like put a shovel in it, put like a rake in it, and actually move the dirt so it's not just packed in, so that you can take the rocks that are inhibiting growth and move them in a place where they are useful, that they help. So it's kind of like getting grounded, but putting your hands in the dirt to be an active part of how you regrow your garden. Because your garden, as you look at it, is what your parents helped shape, gave you as an identity, and what you learned to, how you learn to navigate. There are flowers, there are beautiful, vegetation there, but there are some thorns, there are some blockages that you can recognize that you want to put your hands in the dirt and really uproot weeds, move blocks, and make it so the parts that you consider maybe lower energy or shadow is incorporated, not gotten rid of, but incorporated, learned lesson. You can recognize that certain plants need certain kind of space. You can learn that certain rocks or features of the land inhibit the growth of a garden. So it's not that you're getting rid of them, but you're reallocating where those things can exist, where they can live in harmony with other things. And that earthworm energy is that beginning, relearning how to plant that garden, or relearning how to navigate the landscape of your inner world. Okay, let's look at tsunami. Oh, there we go. So then we have fire ant. Yep. I just heard something bit you. Okay. I just heard you. Okay. This is a very specific. So you may have been seeing more insects in your home. Maybe you have a little line of ants. Maybe if you live in an area that has a lot of flowers, maybe you're finding a lot of like wasps or bees about, maybe spiders. I know someone who's seeing a bunch of pale praying mantis. Look at what those insects mean spiritually and see how they may or may not like connect with you. But I'm seeing that this this fire ant specifically, under the tsunami, we have big strong themed energy about change, emotional upheaval, something that's letting you know, hey, something needs to change. And then we have the fire ant, something, oh gosh, I'm really sorry, but I heard something bit you in the ass, and that you're like, okay, this is aggressive, this is a real big upheaval, or maybe it's a really big realization about how you've been holding yourself back. And like I'm hearing, I've got to kick myself in my own ass. I got to get myself going. I need to do the work. I need to light that fire. We have a little bit of fire right there. I need to light that fire to incentivize myself, because I don't want to be in this tower moment. I recognize that it's here not for just pure chaos, but to help clear the way so that I can approach something, that I can clear the proverbial road so I can continue forward. Now let's get a card about this raven energy. Again, I'm seeing Edgar Allan Poe story about the raven, tap, tap, tapping at the window pane, at the door. I'm hearing, oh gosh, I'm sorry, but I'm hearing Homer Simpson recite the raven, take thy beak from thy heart and thy frame from my door, something like that. If I can remember, I'll try and put like a little image right here. But for those who watched The Simpsons or did at one point, I'm having that come up. But the point being is there is a message. It's almost as if Spirit has been trying to bring this message in, is tap, tap, tapping at your window, at your door, trying to bring the message in. And I'm getting the inclination, like the Homer Simpson energy. Is like, yes, I got the message. I hear it. You don't have to keep repeating it. But the reason why Spirit is doing that is because you haven't taken the action yet. You recognize it, but I think that there's, with this full moon coming up, the culmination, the completion, Spirit just wants you to close out the cycle because there's something better waiting on the other side. There is something great on the other side, but you have to kind of get rid of the things that don't work, the things that are holding you back, whether it's, how you think about yourself, how you think about your accomplishments in life, or maybe, not so helpful friends or not so helpful family. That doesn't mean you have to forget about them, but you have to recognize that sometimes you've outgrown a certain lifestyle and it's okay to move forward. And some people can't always come with you. But let's get some clarification on this raven energy. We've got two. Okay. I'll put these here now. So the first one is bear. Oh, we had bear energy the last time I did a reading, and it was about grounding. It's about owning a business. This is about having strength and dependability and consistency of character. The bear, oh my gosh, there's there's two other ones, all for the raven. Okay. The bear energy is also about spirituality, because the bear does go into hibernation. And so for me, as an intuitive reader, that speaks to entering the spirit world. So this may be a point in which you find stability, dependability, consistency, groundedness in finding a certain level of spirituality, whether or not it's an organized religion, a nature religion, if you're connected to the stars, be it what it is. There is some sort of stability that is on the horizon that the raven messenger has been trying to say, hey, collective, do the dang thing, because you're so close for stability coming in. Then we have hyena. So this is showing a smiling face on the outside. Again, intuitively. This is showing a smiling face on the outside while inside having a really, really hard time. This is a mask that you likely wear because of going back to the garden thing. When you're looking at your own garden, you can recognize, yes, there are some flowers in there, but you also recognize there are areas that need care, that need lots of care, that need to uproot weeds. And for some of you, this may have been a really dark time in your life. You may look at your garden and be like, that's so much work, that's so much weeding, that's so much uprooting, that's so much tilling the soil, if you will. but it's worth it because it's you. You are worth the work. You are worth the effort because you're helping yourself heal from something, self-limiting thoughts or even some trauma that may have been inflicted upon you, experienced, or that you've held within yourself since you're a kid. Because when you're a kid, you didn't have the say or the power to change your situation, but now you do. Now you do. You have the possibility of moving towards a stable, grounded, almost spiritual energy with the bear that takes time, like a hermit, the hermit card, to go deep within or to hibernate or to deeply connect with spirituality. But the problem that we have here is that you're wearing a mask or you're putting on armor to show everyone that you're okay. A smiling mask, but behind it there's lots of pain. Then we have Stingray. Stingray, you know what? Stingray, it tells me that when you're wearing this mask, if someone gets a little bit too close to your inner world, you tend to snap at them. You wear a mask and you pretend like everything's fine, and you take all this treatment from somebody, a job, a family, a lover, and then all of a sudden you start yelling, and it's not the energy you want to come out, but because you've been holding this burden for so long, you've been holding this mask for so long, that when it drops, it's a huge tidal wave of emotion, and thus you sting the person. This is because the weight of carrying that mask, and the Stingray is defensive. Now, this is my interpretation for the 3 cards that are the message from the Raven, which is, again, there is dependability, strength, groundedness in your future, but there are certain energies that need to be moved past, worked through. These are the proverbial thorns in weeds in your garden. These are the rocks in the ground that are preventing growth, that just need to be moved. The rock, the barrier, the boundary is not inherently bad, but if you're putting it in the wrong way, it inhibits growth. I'm seeing the 4 of Pentacles right now, that card that means establishing boundaries, but the shadow aspect of that is not necessarily boundaries, but building yourself an 8-foot wall around you so that nobody can touch you. That's not protection, that's isolation. So having rocks in your garden, in the ground, is not bad. It's just, if it's inhibiting growth, it needs to be moved. That boundary, that border needs to be moved to a place that's appropriate, that can protect, not isolate, not inhibit growth, if that makes sense. But let me go ahead and read you what those cards mean from the book, in case that resonates more than my intuitive read. Okay, so the bear is waking from a spiritual slumber and beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from a deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move towards the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice. Winter wanes and the warmth of spring emerges. Your transformation begins. So again, this is going from wearing a mask, go into stability, into dependability, into consistency, into strength in vulnerability. That transition isn't a cakewalk. It's going to take work, and so I feel like this does kind of encapsulate that. So let's find out what the hyena is in the book. The hyena is humor, wit, and sarcasm. The hyena personality is a jokester and a crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships, or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? What would happen if the mask fell? Essentially what it's saying, this is the mask that you wear. You put on the mask of someone who smiles and jokes, and everything is silly, and when confronted with a deep truth, whether in a movie, in a song, in a tarot reading, in anything, someone who cracks the first joke when they're doing that is often feeling identified by it. Okay? That's not to say you can't have good humor about your shortcomings. That's provided that you're working on it. But if you are not working on it, then it becomes a defense mechanism. And when you don't address the things inside, that are bothering you, that weigh on your mind and weigh on your heart, it becomes external triggers in the real world. So let's continue to the stingray. So the stingray says, developing a sense of self or a spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth, the moment that has come when the stingray must decide between the old, the easy, uncomfortable, and the old, i.e., the easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends make that decision even more complicated. No matter what the choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again and again as a force of dharma growing within. The stingray is too strong. Well, the sense of growing dharma within is too strong to ignore. Interesting. So my thing was getting defensive, but what this is saying in the book is that, like the raven, the message is being relayed over and over and over again, and it's getting too loud to ignore it. And maybe a little bit of what I said does actually resonate. You would know, but if you had the same message over and over, tap, tap, tapping at your window, tap, tap, tapping at the door, and you're like, okay, yes, I know, I'm going to do it, but you haven't quite taken the action. It's the same as this cycle, this sense of dharma getting stronger and stronger and stronger until you can no longer ignore it. So let's move these cards over here because we're done with those. Now let's move on to tarot. Let's get some clarification as to what the universe wants to say. This is the energy that the collective, those that resonates, and please don't, I will always say this, don't do the mental gymnastics. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, and that's okay. Maybe your reading's a different day. But for those that you feel like this resonates, this is what the spirit is asking you, or asking of you. Suggesting, pointing you towards, however you feel comfortable, resonating, you'll know. Okay, hold on, that one. Mother of Cups. So this is Queen of Cups. This is the energy of love and emotion and intuition looking backwards. And I don't mean like refusing to move forward. I mean, this is a retrospective energy. This is the energy of life, love, intuition, feeling, looking back at your life and thinking, what lessons can I learn from this? And this is having humility and having a kindness, a gentleness that understands where they came from and forgives you for all your missteps and all your perceived quote, quote, failures, and understands that you as a person are, imperfect. We all are. That's what it is to be human. And to recognize this energy is very understanding and kind and recognizes that everyone is walking a different journey. This is your energy. This is spirit. This is spirit saying, understand that even in your imperfection, you are beautiful. You are a balance of all things. You are the universe made manifest in a physical body. You have shadow and light, up and down, right and left, hot and cold. Like in the balance, we have growth and healing. And then we have these teachable moments that we learn that enriches our lives, that teaches us valuable lessons. This energy right here is spirit spirit saying, don't be hard on yourself. You're living a very human experience. Don't focus on the negative. Recognize where you excel. Recognize where you need a little work. And don't beat yourself up about it. Recognize that you are an ever-growing, ever-changing being of energy. That's a human race. We are always moving, growing, changing, adapting. We are not a static race. We are not a static being. We will always be moving and changing. So we are never the same person that we were even a week ago, because our experience and our encounters, they shape us. So every day you have the chance to be a little kinder to yourself and be like, okay, so maybe yesterday wasn't one of the best days that I've had, but that's okay. Tomorrow's a new start, and I can kind of reset my clock, and I'm going to just be like, okay, today I'm going to try to be kinder to myself, understand that when I make a misstep, it is a teachable moment, and every day I'm learning and growing. This is the energy of what Spirit's trying to say. Intuitively, this is what I'm feeling. that Spirit doesn't want you to be hard on yourself. Doesn't want you to be hard on yourself at all. I'm almost hearing that you're being too hard on yourself, and that Spirit is trying to help you have a kinder eye on yourself. Okay, so then we have the moon. So even if you can't see the forest or the trees, or you can't see the path ahead, or you don't know where life is going, or you don't know what's going to happen if you make this decision, or if you leave this job, or pursue this relationship, or backpack across Europe, or take that job. Even though you can't see that, something tells me, collective, that you've been wanting to take that action. Replanting that garden. Allotting and creating and healing and planting a life that you cultivated yourself. You are the Grand Maestro of your own destiny. You decide what attention you're going to give to your own personal soul garden. And there is incentive. That volcano, that like almost explosive action you may be feeling in the last couple of days, that you really, really want to change something because something has been very confronting. That raven has been knocking at your door. You understand the message that have been what Spirit has been trying to convey to you, and so you want to make that change. It's just when are you going to hit the go button? Spirit here is saying, when you do it, don't be hard on yourself. You may have situations where you do 5 steps forward, 1 step back. Don't be hard on yourself. Celebrate those successes and figure out where you need a little help, a little polish. You may not be able to see the whole path, but just keep taking those steps. Every step you take creates the path that you walk. And to trust in that. Again, Mother of Cups or Queen of Cups is very intuitive. It's trust in yourself. Trust that you know what life you want to create for yourself, where you want to go in life, what your ultimate goal is. And the only way to get that is for you to take the steps forward. Even if all you did was take 1 step a day, at the end of the day, you have 365 steps under your belt. Do you see what I'm saying? It's up to you. The universe wants to bring in good things for you, wants to bring in change, wants to bring in, if you get past this kind of older version of yourself where there's lots of trauma and or self-doubt, there's something great ahead. But you have to be an active participant in the shaping of your destiny. The universe can present you the opportunity, but you have to make the decision to take the step forward. So again, don't be hard on yourself. Trust your intuition. Recognize and forgive yourself for when you made those missteps, and celebrate your past and your future successes. Even if you can't see the forest through the trees, even if you can't see the path ahead of you, the path, every step you take is creating the path. So trust in yourself that you know what you want for you, what would make you happy, and to create the path to your own destiny. What else does the universe want us to tell you? Then we have the Magician. You have everything that you need right now at your disposal. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about job. I'm talking about self-power. The decision to invest in yourself costs you nothing. The decision to take that step towards, a new life doesn't cost you anything monetarily to make the decision. Now, ironing out the details like buying the plane ticket or packing up your life or sending out the resume, those actually require steps. But making the internal decision to start rebuilding who you are in the image of what you want for yourself, not what society says, not what your parents said, not what your parents made you feel you only deserved, what you truly want. You can create the life that you want, but you have to invest in yourself, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to take those steps. There's not going to be a silver or golden, stork coming from the sky to gift you a bag full of money or a bag full of luck. You create your own luck. You are the maestro of your own destiny. There is the possibilities and the timelines and the chances and the opportunities. I don't know if I said opportunities already, but it bears repeating. They're out there. that unlock the key to your happiness, your success, your fulfillment, your life purpose, but you have to walk towards it. And you have the inner strength and self. You just have to uncover it. You have to dust it off. You have to kind of remove the layers of crap that other people have put on top of it, so you can find, oh, there goes who I am right there. All this time, it's been there. It's not like it was lost or you had to earn it. It's always been there. It's just as everyone else has piled a bunch of other crap on top of it. And once you can remove all of that stuff and find the core of you, you recognize you have the power to change your destiny, to change your life path. Because quite literally, that's how it works. Our destiny is defined by the actions that we take. The possibilities are infinite, but they become less so when we make no movement. So, Spirit is saying, trust yourself, don't be hard on yourself. You may not be able to see the path, but walk the path, and you make the path. And you have everything that you need internally, the strength, the presence of mind, the intelligence, the love. And when I say love, I mean self-love. I'm not talking about romantic love. I mean the love and belief in yourself. You just have to uncover it and refine it. Fall in love with yourself again. Date yourself, my God. Do yourself a kindness and do nice things for yourself. Then we have the Hierophant, another crow. This is about like structure. This is creating a new way of being. You're setting a new precedent. You're telling the world, your family, your friends, your future loves, this is the new version of me. This is the structure that I've set for myself. This is how I define myself. This key tells me that I've unlocked this happiness. Also, the Hierophant is very connected to spirituality. So again, right under the Bear card and under the Raven card, this may be, again, tapping into some level of spirituality or like organized religion, or, maybe studying the stars. Whatever it is helps kind of ground you and center you and kind of open you up to who you are inside, that maybe you hide away from other people. Spirit is telling you, you are creating a precedent. There we go. That's the word I was trying to look for. A precedent for all those who encounter you as you move through this healing. You're setting a precedent of, I know my worth. I know the structure and how I want to build my life. I'm connected to a certain level of higher power, whether it's myself or a God or, energy in space. You've always held the key. And here we have the Raven up here that was knocking at the door, knocking at the window pane, trying to get your attention. And you're like, yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know I have the key. I've always had that key. I'm just a little nervous about opening that door that I've never opened before. The one that shows you who exactly you are at its core, without all the structures of society and expectations of culture, family, and friends, but just what I want for me. What will make me happy, and moving towards that truth. You have the key to unlock that, but you have to trust yourself, love yourself, and invest in yourself enough to create that. Last one. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. Now, I love that the Two of Pentacles came out and it's a butterfly, because butterflies in my mind, or moths in my mind, are transformational creatures. They are in a little, what do you call it? Chrysalis. Or cocoon, and they go from being a very grounded animal on the earth, the caterpillar that crawls along, to something that takes wing and can fly into the sky and connect to the sky, or spirituality. The Two of Pentacles is weighing and balancing in some instances, but what I see is this is a perfect balance, and it's in the infinity. In the original Rider Smith Waite tarot, it shows a person and they're juggling, but the juggling is kind of off center. One's higher than the other, and it's about weighing options. It's about trying to make a decision. But with this particular deck, I'm seeing transformative energy. I'm seeing connected to the earth, and to spirit, and to spirit, and to spirit, and to spirit, and to spirit. These intuition and spirit, all four of these. And in this, those two pentacles are balanced. There's something about the decision of replanting your garden, regrowing your garden, redefining who you are as a person, removing all the, like I said, it's like you have you, and then everybody put their expectations and everything on top of it. If you can remove all of those things, just get down to the brass tacks of who you are and focus on you and learn to foster a self-love of you, the way you're moving is into this transformative energy where you are connected, both grounded in logic, intellect, and quite literally the 3D, being present to the people around you, but also being connected to spirituality, being connected to your intuition, a balance of both, a yin and a yang, masculine and feminine. So I don't know who needed to hear this, and I don't know why it gave me such a tight chest space, but this is the message that came out. Not sure who needed to hear it, but here it is for you. If it helped you understand, if it gave you confirmation or validation in any way, you can just put a little heart emoji in the comments just to say, hey, Angel, this spoke to me at some level, and I just want to let you know. But outside of that, I thank you so much for being present for the reading. I can't do any of this without you because you all tell me an energy that needs to be spoken on, and I do it, and hopefully it connects with those that need to hear it. If you like my reading style, please consider sharing, and subscribing. It helps other people reach other people so that they can hear the messages that they maybe one day need to hear. Because tarot is timeless. It doesn't matter if you hear it today on September 1st or if you hear it 5 years from now. It might hold a little nugget of wisdom. And yeah, so this is Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel, and I will see you at the next read.